Alright, I had a little mess up there. Stepped on my, got this long wire, stepped on it, and pulled out the other one. So let's finish this, let's continue this video here. Let's apply this to this polynomial. So we got the polynomial negative 2x cubed plus 7x minus 13. What is the end behavior of the graph of this thing? So the first thing you want to look at if you're thinking about this definition, a n x to the n plus, we don't care, the n. Okay, look at that n. What's your n? Well, your n is 3, right? N is 3. So number one, n is odd. That's really big, right? Because over on that other page that we were looking at, n is odd, you're down here at number 2. So it's either going to be this graph on the left-hand side or the graph here on the right-hand side, right? So it's going to be one of those two scenarios. Now the second thing we need to know, look at this A and B in parentheses in red here, is the leading coefficient positive or is that leading coefficient negative? So let's see here, this second part, see this leading coefficient, what's our leading coefficient? A sub n is negative 2, so in other words, that thing is negative, that thing is negative. So if it is odd, and the leading coefficient is negative, it kind of behaves like negative x cubed, which is something like that, right? Again, I don't know what's going on in between, whoops, in between there, okay, but I do know it goes up to the left, down to the right, up to the left, down to the right. Now we want to be a little more technical about that. As we shoot out to the left on this function, so as I fall on this thing, notice it goes up, right? So as x goes to the left and we're following on that graph, f of x goes positive up, positive direction. And then as your x moves to the right, on the other hand, your f of x here goes down. F of x goes down. That's a negative infinity right there. Kind of an ugly one, but oh well. Yeah, let's do another one real quick. How about let's describe the end behavior of this thing. F of x equals 13x to the, I don't know, 20 minus 20x third plus 16x squared minus 2x plus 4. All right? Again, all we care about is that leading term, right? So number one, is n even or odd? Well, n is 20. N is even. That means on that other page, it's going to behave either like x squared or negative x squared. It all depends. It depends on that leading coefficient. You see that leading coefficient is 13? A sub n is positive. The leading coefficient is positive. That means it behaves like x squared, right? And again, I don't know what's going on in between. But I do know it goes up to the left. The graph of this thing goes up to the left, up to the right. Up to the left, up to right. Okay, so as x goes to the left, f of x goes in the positive direction, and as x goes to the right, the y value goes in that positive direction. Okay, all of this leads us into what we just love to do, which is graph. Okay, so let's graph. Let me get a polynomial here. Negative x cubed plus 2x squared plus x plus 1. Negative x cubed plus 2x squared plus x plus 1. So here's our polynomial. F of x negative x cubed plus 2x squared plus x plus 1. Of course, it's cubic, right? And so if you're thinking about n behavior, first of all, n behavior, your n, your degree is 3. Right? Your degree is odd. So it's either going to behave like x cubed, down to the left, up to the right, or negative x cubed, up to the left, down to the right. Second thing we look at is that leading coefficient. You see how that leading coefficient right there is negative 1, negative 1. So it is negative. So guess what? This thing behaves like negative x cubed. Up to the left, down to the right. That's all we know about this thing right now. So what you got to do is you just got to start graphing a bunch of points, okay? So throw a bunch of points on here. So like, I don't know, 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3, and then start doing it, okay? Little by little, you're going to see what this thing kind of looks like, a little bit of the behavior. So we're plugging 0 in. Of course, that's going to clear all these out, right? All those x values anyway. So gone, gone, gone. You got the 1, so f of 0 equals 1. So 0, comma 1. Put that on the graph, right? Plug 1 in. And those give you that 2 there. So you got 3. f of 1 is 3. 1, 3. Okay? And you keep doing that, and you get 2, 3, 3, -5, and you get -1, 3, -2, 15, -3, comma, and that'll end up being 43. Okay, if you go through all that arithmetic. Let me kind of erase this here for a minute. Let's put some of these points on there. 2, 1, 3, and we got 2, 3. We got 3, -5. 3, -5. -1, 3. -2. Now this -2 is like way up there. 15. You know, I can't reach that up there, but it's way up there. So we know it kind of shoots up here. And remember, this thing has got to go up to the left and down to the right. Up to the left and down to the right. So I'm like, you know, it's probably, if this thing shoots up, there's probably something like this. You know, and then we got to shoot through that one as well. So again, we're going up to the left, down to the right. I'd probably actually put on a few more points there before I did. You know, that's obviously an approximation, but you can punch that into your TI-89 or TI-84, whatever you got, and take a look at that. See how accurate you are with just those 7 points right there. Thank you, and have a good day.